Welcome to the Transparent FX Academy. I'm Nick and I'm a top potter on TradingView with over 190k reputation points. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. This is the place to go for high quality, free trading education. Now, without further ado, let's jump straight onto the charts. In this video, I will be speaking about GBPUSD. Now, as usual, to keep the video as educational as possible, first I will be covering the technical aspect of this market. Then we will be moving to the order flow by looking at the commitment of traders, so the COT data, which is what the non-commercials, so the biggest speculators in the market are doing, which are essentially hedge funds, so the big players in the market. And by the end of the video, by using the combination of these two different types of analysis, we will try to understand where we have the highest probability for the next potential move here on this pair. Now, starting here on the monthly time frame, what we can see is that we have a market which is currently testing a quite strong level of previous monthly resistance turned support. In fact, if we zoom in, we can see how this level was acting as previous resistance, preceding this rejection to the downside, and after that we had the break above the zone. At that point, all that previous resistance was turned support. And in fact, what we can see is that the market is currently retesting this previous resistance turned support and has already started rejecting it to the upside. So what we could expect, at least by looking at this market from a monthly perspective and looking at the structure, is more potential bullish continuation. Now, if we zoom in, we can also notice that from a pattern perspective, we did have an impulse and correction. And in general, after an impulse, if you want to measure the correction, you have to take your Fibonacci from the low to the high of the impulse leg. And if we do that, we can see how we had a perfect 0.32 Fibonacci retracement lining up perfectly with the previous resistance turned support, creating a confluence of support at this level, which we could in fact expect this market to test and then to reject to the upside, which is exactly what this market is currently doing. So here on the monthly, we could expect more potential bullish continuation. Going down on the weekly time frame, what do we have? Well, here on the weekly, we can notice how the market is currently testing previous weekly resistance, which is now turned support at this level. As we're testing previous resistance turned support, we could expect more potential bullish continuation and for the market to create a potential higher high. So also here on the weekly, everything is looking very bullish. Going down the daily time frame, what do we see? Well, from a daily perspective, first of all, I did speak about GBPUSD quite a few times in the past. I spoke about it when the market was here. I explained all the reasons for which we could expect this rejection to the upside. Again, from here, I explained why we could expect a potential higher high. And from here as well, I explained all the reasons for which this rejection to the upside, which the market just gave us, was definitely possible. And by the way, I will link all this previous analysis in the description, so you can go and check them out for more free education. Now, since we just had this move, it's definitely time for an update because the market has now created new structure, especially from a daily perspective. In fact, what we can notice is that the market has just created a higher high, breaking above this previous high. So this previous resistance is now turned support at this level. So if we will have the completion of this impulse and the creation of a correction, at that point, essentially, there is a possibility for a potential completion of this daily impulse correction and impulse pattern to the upside, which at that point would also be rejecting a quite important structure level. And this would also be a quite interesting area inside of which institutions could be adding more longs. Why do I say this? Because if we go and see what we have when it comes to the commitment of traders, so the COT data, which is what institutions are doing in the market, and we look at the data precisely for the pound, the first thing that we have to keep in mind is that if we're looking at the data for the pound, we're actually already looking at GBPUSD because all currencies on the spot are traded against the USD. And what we can see is that with the last reports, institutions went from having minus 24k net positions with way more shorts than longs. In fact, we had 52k shorts compared to only 28k longs, all the way up to now having a positive net positioning of plus 13.2k net positions with way more longs than shorts. So completely the opposite. This means that during this time, institutions have been adding longs and closing shorts at the same time. Therefore, they are moving their positioning to the bullish side of this market, expecting GBPUSD to continue to get stronger. This means that if we actually get a break above this high, which it seems like the market is doing, on the retest of this previous daily resistance turn support, this is a good area for them to add even more longs. At that point, we will also have the creation of an impulse and correction. And if you have an impulse and you want to measure the correction, you have to take your Fibonacci on the impulse leg, which at that point should give us at 0.32 or 50% Fibonacci retracement, lining up with this previous resistance turn support, creating confluence of support, which gives us even more probability for a potential rejection higher. So if we get the break on the retest, how we could be approaching a potential move higher. Now, as usual, trading is reactive and not predictive. The monthly, weekly, and daily combined with the COT data, those are the best time frames from a directional perspective. However, when it comes to confirmations and entries, the best time frames are the intraday time frames, so 4 hour and lower. Therefore, what we could be doing, potentially also with students, is monitoring price action from an intraday perspective during this move to the downside, waiting for the market to shift from an intraday bearish market as we would have to an intraday bullish market. And if the market would shift from an intraday bearish to bullish market and provide to us one of our valid entries, at that point, we could be looking for a potential move higher for the market to complete this impulse correction and impulse pattern to the upside. Now, if you don't know what I'm speaking about when I say valid entries and these kind of things, you want to learn more, I really suggest that you go and check out the transparentfxtrading.com website. Here, you have the possibility to gain access to my entire courses with all the rules of the strategies. You also have the possibility to gain access to one-on-one private mentoring, the VIP market breakdowns with the Telegram signals, the COT data software, which is precisely the one that we used in this analysis, the trading station software, which puts together everything that you need as a trader all in one interface. And if you scroll lower here, past the testimonials, you will see that at the moment there is a massive special promotion in which you have a huge discount on the upfront price of the mentorship program from $497 all the way down to only $97 one-time payment. And as an option, since I have partnered with the forex broker Blueberry Markets, if after you join the mentorship program directly from your student dashboard, you open an account with them, you can get a full refund credited back into your trading account if essentially you move your trading there. And if you scroll lower, you will see that at the moment there is still time to join before the offer expires and price goes back to normal. And directly from here, there is the button to join in order to gain automatically access with the email and password that you will create during the checkout process. So definitely looking forward to have you on board. The link is also in the description. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button and comment below. It really does support the creation of more free analysis education and updates for all of you. And I will see you in my next breakdown.